Welcome, everyone, to today's episode on the crossroads of thought and debate in the humanities. Today, we're entering a fascinating intellectual confrontation: Terry Eagleton versus Richard Dawkins. What happens when one of the most influential literary critics of our time takes on one of the world's most famous atheists? Let's explore the key criticisms Eagleton levels against Dawkins' arguments, particularly as they appear in The God Delusion. Spoiler: it's not a light critique. First, let's make one thing clear. Terry Eagleton isn't just casually dismissing Richard Dawkins. He's coming at him with the full weight of a thinker steeped in theology, philosophy, and cultural studies. Eagleton's critique doesn't just question Dawkins' claims, it questions his very framework for understanding religion itself. A reductionism of religion. Eagleton's first critique: Dawkins simplifies religion to its most dogmatic, literalist expressions. Imagine defining all of literature by the worst pulp fiction you've ever read. Eagleton argues that Dawkins treats religion this way, reducing the vast, intricate tradition into a straw man he can easily knock down. For Eagleton, this isn't intellectual rigor, it's intellectual laziness, ignorance of theology. Now, here's a zinger from Eagleton. He accuses Dawkins of knowing as much about theology as the average person knows about quantum physics, and yet still feeling confident enough to dismiss it entirely. To paraphrase Eagleton, critiquing religion without understanding its theological underpinnings is like discrediting Shakespeare after only reading a greeting card. Misrepresentation of believers. And then there's Dawkins' portrayal of religious believers. In his view, they're naive, irrational, perhaps even delusional. Eagleton counters this caricature with a reminder many of the greatest minds in history, think Aquinas, Kierkegaard, Simone Weil, were deeply religious. Are they all to be dismissed as intellectually inferior? Overconfidence in science. Eagleton also takes aim at Dawkins' almost evangelical faith in science. While Dawkins believes science can explain everything, Eagleton asks, but can it? Can it grapple with the profound existential questions of human life? Questions of love, suffering, morality, and purpose? Science might measure the world, but can it truly explain why the world matters? The ethics question. Then there's morality. Dawkins suggests we can build a secular ethics rooted in evolutionary biology and reason. But Eagleton wonders, can such a system hold the weight of real moral responsibility? Religion, for all its flaws, has offered societies a moral foundation rooted in centuries of tradition and shared meaning. Can Dawkins' secular framework really fill that void? Blindness to cultural richness. Here's another big one: Dawkins ignores religion's contributions to culture. From Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel to Bach's Mass in B minor, religion has inspired some of humanity's greatest achievements. Dismissing religion outright, Eagleton warns, risks discarding these treasures in the process. The simplistic dichotomy. And finally, Eagleton critiques Dawkins for creating a false dichotomy: reason versus faith. Eagleton argues that this binary oversimplifies a much more complex relationship. History is filled with examples of reason and faith working together, enriching rather than opposing one another. So, what's Eagleton really saying? That Dawkins, in his fervor to critique religion, misses the forest for the trees. He reduces, oversimplifies, and dismisses without truly engaging with the depth and richness of religious thought. For Eagleton, Dawkins' approach may be sharp, but it's shallow. And that, my friends, is the heart of the critique. Thank you for joining me today as we navigated this intellectual debate. If you found this discussion enlightening, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the humanities. And tell me, do you side with Eagleton's critique, or do you think Dawkins has a point? Let's discuss in the comments below. Until next time, keep questioning, keep thinking.